For over 60 years, the ARC Alliance has been in your community, providing support and services for families and individuals with special needs. From birth through life, the ARC Alliance team of experts and specialists are here to find solutions to your needs.
For years, we felt alone as we take care of our son. The ARC Alliance support team brings compassion and understanding to our family and provides hands-on solutions.
The ARC Alliance, we're here to help you today. For more information, call 610-265-4700 or visit thearcalliance.org.
I'm Wendy Luviner. I am the Program Coordinator for the ARC Alliance Children's Services. And over the next half hour, I will be sharing with you all about early intervention. And if you stick with me, I will introduce you to some of my friends, and in the end, you will understand what early intervention is and if it is something that can help you or someone you care about. So, what do you think early intervention is? Well, when I started working in the program over 20 years ago, I had no idea what it was. I was a kindergarten teacher, and one of the children in my class was the daughter of the coordinator at the time. And she offered for me to get started in the program, and I am very glad that I did. It's become something that I strongly believe in and will tell anyone about it who will give me the time. Early intervention is a free service that's offered by your county. It's free. The service is for children that are under 3 years old that qualify. How does a child qualify? By showing a percentage of delay in any area of development. So what would prompt you to inquire about us? Well, it could be that at a well check, your pediatrician suggested that you contact early intervention, or you are concerned because your child is not walking or talking as quickly as his cousin. Or it could be that you just want to have that second set of eyes, take a look, and make sure that your child is developing on par with the rest of his peers. The process is family friendly. Your first step is to call the county and ask for an evaluation. The number you call is 610-236-0530. A visit will be scheduled for a team to come out to your home to evaluate your child. The visit is informative and family friendly. The evaluators will more than likely get on the floor with your child and play. Your child will be happy that you made the call. If it's determined that your child qualifies, you will be assigned an organization to provide his services. When asked, we would appreciate if you request the ARC Alliance. And now the fun begins. The therapist will either come to your home or provide services via teleintervention, Zoom, FaceTime, whatever you prefer. The hour visit will go quickly. The therapist is a resource for you to ask questions, brainstorm with, and model for you some strategies to help your child get on track and meet his milestones. I really hope that if you have a child that you think would benefit from our services, or if you know a child that could benefit, that you call us or pass along this information. We really enjoy what we do and find a lot of gratification in helping others. In the next clip, as promised earlier, I am going to introduce you to some of my friends. They are early intervention therapists that work for the ARC Alliance and will help to explain a little further about early intervention.
Leanne Simonelli, I'm a speech language pathologist.
Okay. My name is Amy Overholzer, and I am also a speech language pathologist.
And I'm Teresa Miller, and I'm an occupational therapist.
And you've met me. I'm Wendy Luviner, the program coordinator for the ARC Alliance. So I was earlier explaining about what early intervention is. If you could explain in your words, how would you define early intervention?
I would say early intervention is a partnership between the families and the therapist in order to help get their kiddo to their highest potential in areas that they might be struggling in.
Okay, so you see early intervention as more of like a partnership. So when you go out to the home, your mindset is, I'm here to help mom and dad with their child, right?
The family is really the expert about this child. I have never met him or her, and so we're going to have a partnership and come to an agreement that this would be something worth trying, or to see what is the best.
And what made you decide, Amy, to get into early intervention?
I've kind of worked with the whole spectrum of ages. I got out of graduate school and thought I would never want to work with children. So I started working with adults and realized that wasn't my strong point. So I went down to school-age children, which I enjoyed. The paperwork's a little much. So then I went down to outpatient, which I really liked. And then while I was at the outpatient setting, I had my daughter who was born premature, and I found out about early intervention and the flexibility of scheduling and what a significant change it makes for the families, and I decided that's where I wanted to be.
And I hear that from a lot of people that get involved in early intervention. It's because you really believe in it, and it's really quickly you start seeing the benefits of it, and it makes you just very passionate about it. And there is something really fun about just really believing in what you do. And I'm sure that you see it every day. It's really fun to just see all the progress that the children are making.
The kiddos make so much progress. Their brains are the most receptive to learning from the point that they're born until they're 3 years old, which is exactly the time period that we're seeing these special little girls and boys. And it's just amazing to see the changes over time and not only work with the child, but be involved with the family and really just help make a difference.
And just to piggyback off of what Leanne said, just to emphasize the importance of catching a delay early. The earlier you catch a delay, the best chance you have of catching your child up to meet his peers. You find that as well?
I do, and I've been, my road has been similar to Amy's. I never did adults, but I did a lot of children. And the thing about early intervention is working with the family carries through every day. So the progress that I might see just in an outpatient setting of 1 hour a week or whatever is this big, but when I work with the family, it's this big. So I think that that also brings much joy to work, to our job.
And to piggyback off of what Teresa just said, what is even more rewarding in this field is not only seeing the kiddos make all this progress, but the change in, the parents. And they might be struggling so much with a certain routine when we begin, and we work week after week after week giving strategies, what's going to work, what's not going to work. And by the time the kiddo is 3, we're there watching the parents kind of lead as not only mom, but therapist also. And to leave that house when a child turns 3 and have mom or dad feel confident in us leaving because they have the tools that they need is very rewarding.
I mean, early intervention is very empowering to parents.
Yes.
That is what it's all about.
Yes. And was there any specific reason why you chose the ARC Alliance to work for?
Well, I chose the ARC Alliance because I have worked in a lot of places, and a lot of times, even if it's in a pediatric setting, I feel like I had to fight for the children. But what about this room? We need for this and that, and I just that constant fighting. And at the ARC Alliance, they're like, yeah, we get it. What we need to do is the best for children. Oh, okay. And then that all is off my plate, and it's very freeing that I can just go and do my job.
Yeah, I had worked for another agency prior to coming to the ARC, and I knew I wanted to leave that other agency, wasn't sure where I wanted to go, and early intervention as a whole is kind of a big family. So if you just kind of listen, you can pick up on what works and what doesn't work, and from what I heard, the ARC worked. So that's where I went, and just like Teresa said, they care about the kids as much as we do, which makes your job so much easier when you have supportive people behind you that understand what you're doing and why you're doing it, and the passion with which you do it. It changes everything.
Mm-hmm. The ARC is really like a big family, and they understand, again, like Teresa said, the importance of these children and how to help them, and that is what they make a priority.
Okay, wonderful. Okay, so what does a typical session look like when you go out to the home?
Well, you knock on the door and the family lets you in, and then you say, generally speaking, if it's not early on, you say, so what's due this week? And they'll tell you all of the things that happened. And maybe she did this for the first time, or he said that word for the first time, or he could regulate himself during a stressful time. And it's just such a beautiful way to begin a session. And then if there is a lot of concern, then we just get to that right away. Well then, if you're really worried about X, that's what we're going to work on today. And then you can just see them going, we're going to work on X today. So, and then so you get busy. So you just kind of let the family run what you're going to do. And you might review with what we said we were going to do last week, and it might be that thing or it might not be. So you kind of have to just be open to what could happen.
Agree with that. If there is a concern that may have popped up over the week, we try our very best to address it right away as soon as possible, kind of recreate, if it's possible, what the struggle might be, so that we can help in giving mom and or dad the strategies to use in that situation over the week. And then we just also more or less follow the kiddo's lead. Not too stressful of a situation. Sessions are pretty easygoing, and yeah, we kind of let the child run the show and the family.
The kids think we're there to play.
Mm-hmm.
It's not, they don't see our arrival as work.
Mm-hmm.
So after a couple sessions, when they're used to us coming to the home, we're usually greeted at the door. They'll take our hands, take us back to wherever we're going to be that day, whether it be playing in the kitchen or in the toy room. And then when it's time for us to leave, they help us get our papers because they know that means the end. And we get walked to the door and we get our goodbyes. But whenever I have first visits and the parents always say to me, what should I get ready? My answer is nothing. Mm-hmm. Do whatever you do at 10:30 on a Wednesday, because I'm going to be there at 10:30 on a Wednesday. Mm-hmm. Don't make anything specific. Don't try to guide your child in any way, because there's a big chance they're going to go, okay, something's going on here and I don't like it. So just make it be your regular day, and we're just going to fit into your routine and what you're doing and become a part of that as well, so that you can learn the strategies to get you better through that time, or be able to work on the goals that you have for your child without really even having to think about it.
As early intervention, we're always encouraging families to be part of their community, getting out there in their community, exploring. Can you make any recommendations for places for families to take their children?
Yes. I also live in Berks County, so I'm always searching for things to do, not only for the families that I work with, but for me and my little one at home too. Ton of playgrounds, endless really. I'm sure you all know about a bunch of them. Teresa and I are talking about Moton has a community playground that's wonderful. There's the Exeter Township Playground. There are a bunch of playgrounds that have fences around. They might not have gates to close, but at least the fence, so you don't have to worry about little ones running.
That makes a big difference. That's
Yes,
nice.
huge. And I also love the Berks County Libraries. berkslibraries.org, I believe, is the website to go onto to search different story times. There are a ton. And the libraries are wonderful. They generally have a kids area that has toys, of course, kids' books, puzzles, coloring, and their understanding of it's not like you have to be quiet.
I was just going to ask that because I would think sometimes as a parent you wouldn't think of taking your 2-year-old to the library because that's a quiet place. So you're saying that's not the case
Not necessarily.
with your toddler.
Right. Since there's kids areas, of course you're expecting that there are going to be a wide range of ages of kiddos, and it is not always quiet. That is for sure. Were you going to say something?
Oh no, I just couldn't agree more. And the Boyertown Library has those little rooms.
Yes.
And which is just lovely because if you do have an overly active child and a mother who's concerned about, then you just go into a little room, and it has nice glass walls so you don't feel like you're locked in, and they have lovely toys and you can trade them out, and the books that are available, and they're just so open. It's not like that in every county. But it's lovely in Berks County. And the neighborhood parks, it just seems like I can ask a mom, well, is there a nearby park? Oh yeah, it's just right over there, and blah, blah, blah. And almost all the moms have always said that. They're so near.
The Exeter Township Library also has a nice story walk that's outside, and there's a trail that you walk for the story walk that is probably around 1/4 mile long. Trees. It's very nature oriented, so it's nice if kiddos having a hard time in the library, there is that also provided outdoors, which is really nice. There is also I believe it's called the Go Worship Center in Sinking Spring. It is off of Green Valley Road. On Fridays, they have a playtime between 10 and 12 that is free of charge. And it is an indoor playroom area for kiddos and parents.
And if a child's in early intervention, then you can attend with the child, right?
Right.
So you have met children out at playgrounds, libraries, sort of thing?
And that worship center is lovely. They have toys there and all of the things. You don't have to really bring much because it's all already there. And the people who work in there are just very open and loving and
Welcoming.
yes.
That's wonderful. You gave our viewers some options and some ideas. All right. I know there's probably so many things that happened in early intervention that are very memorable to you with working with toddlers. Can you share with the viewers just something that may have happened during one of your visits?
One moment that sticks out to me, I did not have a lot of time with this family, maybe 2 months or so, and a large struggle was going out into the community. And not only did the kiddo have a hard time, but mom was very anxious. So that was a struggle for her also. She would get a little bit worked up and nervous about how community outings were going to go. So I was like, great, we're going to do it together. I am not only here to help you help your child, but I'm going to help you get through this and hopefully just ease her a little bit since I was there. So we started planning small trips, little short doses, playground. We went to the Exeter Library. She was wanting to go to library so bad with her little guy, but was hesitant to because of the situation. So we went to the library together, and this little boy did amazing. The mom was blown away. He had successful transitions. He explored in the library, no meltdowns. He just exceeded all of our expectations. He did the nature walk outside, and mom was near, I believe she was in tears. And the following week we went grocery shopping. And then slowly but surely, mom started sending me pictures of their whole family out at the Christmas light show and at the gardens and at the creek. And she was just she kind of overcame her own anxieties and just went with the flow, and was surprised at just how well the strategies that she learned helped her little one be successful in the community. And I felt like even though we had such a short time together, we together made such a difference, oh my goodness, in this family's life. And that sticks out to me.
What a way to open their world.
Yes.
Not only the toddlers, but the whole family now could go out and enjoy the community.
Yes, for sure.
Being a speech therapist, of course, so many of the good thoughts that come of that and experiences are related to kids' first words. So always that excitement on the parents' faces when they're like, did I just hear them say, or did they say? And with the pandemic and everybody working at home, when mom or dad would run to the bottom of the steps and yell out, honey, she said, or he said, call grandma on the phone to try to get him to say it again. Just that excitement that there was something that they thought their child wasn't able to do, that they learned that they could do and could do more of, and that it was coming. We were working on it, we were getting there. Something that the parents worked on for what to them seemed like forever. They were starting to see the progress pay off, and the joy that lights up their face. It's perfect every time.
Those are all such real things. I guess one thing I'm thinking of is a family that the little one didn't like sand, and so they were afraid to go to the beach, and every time they did go to the beach, it was just tears, and they couldn't go, and they had to go back. And then some of the family stayed on the beach, and anyway, I just felt, we're gonna work on that. So, and mom was just like, this is how he is. We're gonna work on that. So we got out a little bit of sand, and we have the indoor sand, and then we had a little bit bigger outdoor sand, and then we went to Blue Marsh, where they have some sand there. And so we were there, and we were drawing, and we were, kind of putting our toes in and then out and then in and then out, and then he aged out. And then later on, she sent me a picture of all of the family at the beach, and he's all in the sand, and he's just really enjoying the sand, and it was just like, oh, good.
Yeah, we do get close with our families sometimes, and we stay in touch even after the child turns 3. We love to continue to hear about the progress they make. So what would you say to a family that was anxious about calling or pursuing getting early intervention services?
Go for it. It is a free service. And at the least, you can see if you have concerns. At the least, you can see where your kiddo falls as compared to his peers. Maybe you don't have to worry as much as you thought, and see how it goes. Again, it's easy going, and we're just here to help and just immerse ourselves in your routines. We hope to not make it feel like you have to cut out time for us. Again, like Amy said earlier, if it's lunchtime, don't feel like you need to do lunchtime earlier and rush it, or wait to do lunch until after we leave. You just go about your day as you normally would, and that's how we're going to enter your home. So again, it's a free service, and everybody in the field is really great. So I would definitely say go for it.
And I think having that concern that your child might be delayed also can feel really isolating. And you don't want to talk to your friends about it that have kids your child's age, because they're not doing the same things, and it makes you question your parenting skills and makes you feel like there's nobody else out there that understands what you're going through. And having us come out to your home really, I think, enlightens a parent. And my son got speech therapy while I was a speech therapist in early intervention, and it wasn't with me. I had to get him help through somebody else. So I've been on both sides of it, and having that person come in and say to you, yes, there's a delay, we're going to work on this, and we're going to get there, even knowing what I knew at the time, just took such a load off my shoulders. And I realized that it wasn't anything that I did wrong, and that there were other people out there facing the same thing that I was. And it's enlightening, and it's freeing, and it gives you a way to learn how to interact with your child in a different way, so that all that pressure that you feel like that you have to do, and all this information that you have to absorb into them, can be done in a different and easy way, and just kind of help everybody relax.
I guess I'm with Leanne, just go for it. I helped one of the daycare workers stopped me after a session, and she said, I have this 2-year-old and blah, 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 and she's not doing this and that. And I said, I got this phone number. And I want you to call this phone number and just see what happens. And maybe it'll come out and she'll be okay. And then if she's not okay, then there'll just be lovely people who help you. And so even just that, the knowing that there's a phone number was just so freeing to this woman. And it was so great. In Pennsylvania, you can have that.
Mm-hmm. And another note on getting started with early intervention. Some parents think that you need a referral from the doctor, or you might need to wait for the doctor to tell you to call, but you do not need a referral. If you do have any concerns, anybody with a child 0 to 3 can get an evaluation.
Okay, well, thank you, Leanne and Teresa and Amy, for coming out and just for joining us to have a conversation and share a little bit about early intervention. And also thank you for all of your wonderful services to the children and to the community. Very grateful.
Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Amy, Teresa, and Leanne are wonderful, dedicated therapists, and it is a privilege to work alongside them. They all share a passion for helping children and their families, and they will be there for you if your child qualifies. Please make the call today if you have any questions. 610-236-0530 and request the ARC Alliance. Thank you for joining us.